Hi guys, okay, so we are setting up for today's trip to the VA. I did a little bit earlier video showing like the tips on how to measure, now one how starting to go, how to measure up the circumference and getting set up for your weaving portion around your round or oval or really any shape stones. So you're going to go around it with circumference, you're going to mark off on your string, and then that way you can now figure out, like how long you need your true, it's going to stay. I'm sorry. I just realized on a prior video that there's a shh in the background in my videos, and that's my fan. So I'm trying to like move this to where y'all aren't gonna hear that shh, and then figure out how to turn off my fan. Yeah. Alright. For now, you have shh in the background. Now you know what it is. Hopefully you're not too annoyed by it until maybe I can add some background music or something. But anyway, so we're going to have, since I'm working on 2 stones, I have 2 base wires. They're a lot larger than actually necessary just for my round and my bail part, because I'm also going to be doing a circular element on the back of the stone so that will then be woven out to the front circle, so it holds it in nice and tight. So that's why we need it basically double the length of what you just need for your outer circle. And then I only cut 3 wires that are the length of our weaving portion. So we're going to go on here and we're going to find our little mark that we made showing how long we need our weaving portion to be, which is our circumference of the stone. So you see I actually made it larger than what I actually need for the weaving area, but since these are going to be reused, I only need to cut one set of 4, so that way I can have a total of 5 levels to my weaving, because these are going to get pulled out because those outer 4 layers are going to be left loose after these are pulled out. And so the only base wire that stays in is our bottom base wire. The other base wires get pulled out, and then our wires that were woven onto these can then be wiggled. We can get that cool kind of like twisty sun effect, depending on how loose or tight you weave onto these. Gonna also take some beads with me, because then I did make this longer than what I need, and by having some beads in there, I can put distance out between each layer, so they're not going to be like tight one on top of the other. They're going to actually be out like that, and that's going to give me, that's having those beads in there on each of these guys then creates a space in between each section, so that now when I do my weave, even if I'm doing it somewhat tight, if I have a spacer bead in there, it's still giving me a distance. So I'm going to have more space for movement. So that's another trick for doing. You can create your own spacer bead by just doing a spiral of like the wire that you're actually using for your base wire or for your weaving wire. You can do a little spinny and then use that to slide on, and then that creates a spacer. That's especially good for doing a weaving wire like gauge spacer for your true base wire and your next base wire, because those two, that like section right there always ends up getting super super tight, and then you end up with like the, the wonkiness, and it gets over tight. And at some point I'll show you guys. But the other thing that I was going to give a tip on was the spools. So I found my spools, and say we're doing something that requires working from the inside out. So like yesterday I was working on something that's using a pear shape with, dang cats, with the tip of the pear at the bottom instead of at the top. So, and you're working like an even amount on either side. So y'all saw a crazy cat comes over and flounces on my wire, bangs it all up. Me as a klutz myself, I'll constantly end up with, if I'm using a lot of wire, it'll just constantly be banged up. You want to use your nylon pliers, but like a really good plan of action to reduce the amount of issues you're having from the beginning is, if you know that you're going to need like so much yardage of wire on either side of a middle ground, is spool on to an empty spool. So you can then like have two spools that you're working off of, working from the center out. It makes things a lot easier to work with. And then also these Beadalon holders. Where'd it go? I actually pulled one off of something so I could show you guys. And of course, now I can't. Oh, I put it on here. That's why. Okay, so these Beadalon pieces are really good for this. So you see, it's got like a little hole in there. So say, this is going to be my bottom piece that I'm going to use. So I'm going to string my wire through that little hole, pull it through, and then attach it onto the spool. You can tighten it down then on either side. Okay, so you've got it tightened down, and then now you want to set up your weave on this side. Well, because you want it to be able to go through that as well. And obviously you're going to be spooling off on, you want to go ahead and actually put on your next one first, and you're going to want to put it on so that the thing is pointing away. So you're going to do it so that it's going to be going onto your spool like that. So you want to make sure that you're facing these so they're like that. Go ahead and put it onto your wire. Then just take it over to your other spool, and then now you can put on your wire. And I think a good idea is to always use your little notch, because that'll help hold it for your start. And you want to pull it all the way in. Maybe even get a knife to cut in a little bit deeper. Then you can wrap on. Get all the wrapping that you need for your other side. So we'll pretend like we got it even. So now we have even amount on both spools, and all you have to do is flip this over onto, sorry, trying to make sure I'm staying on. So now you've got your spool management on both spools. You're able to work from the center out on your base wires. If you've got an annoying cat like I do, if they come and fling themselves on your wire, it's not putting you in a giant big old mess of wire. You're better able to control your wire. You still want to have your nylon pliers, and I gotta figure out, it's over there somewhere, the little triangular thing of it's like 3 pieces of nylon rollers. That's like especially good when you're using long tails of wire. So you want to use this when you're using small sections of wire like this, not super long. And then you want to use that triangular, you kind of hold it in your fist and pull it long thing. We really need somebody to make, so I need somebody to get on the horn with somebody in power and make us a tiny, like a very small nylon plier, because I constantly have sections that are little, that if I try and use my nylon pliers trying to get in there, I'm ending up like squaring it off instead of being able to like round it out. So we need and I do have I have some nylon covers for some of my round nose pliers, but they're not really good hard nylon like these guys that I think gives you a better straightening. So if anybody knows of a small like a small tip plier that's nylon, as well as a small round nose nylon plier, please let me know, because I think those are definitely tools that could be in high demand and are definitely things that I can see a lot of people finding value in. So yeah, so check those out. So there's my tips and tricks. I did find my triangle. 100% use this. I'm definitely gonna go ahead and order. I saw on Etsy one that actually has a ring that goes on it that helps kind of hold the clamp tighter, and I think will help keep me from, for some reason, my triangles are constantly falling out of these, and I've had to buy two so far because I do have another one of this part, but I'm missing my other triangle box, and without the triangular part, it's pretty much unuseful. So if anybody has any ideas on the small nylon, please let me know. I'm gonna finish putting together my things that I'm gonna use for my activities for today at the VA, to keep me entertained. And that's what today is. And then, like I said, you guys, I have, super excited. I'm getting my first package of the June, the June, Back to Earth Creations, Craft With Me kit. I do the $55 kit, so I think I get 10 cabashions, and then the actual stuff needed to make the activity, and I think you get extra stuff for the activity. I'm not positive. I have to ask her. Like, I keep asking, and I'm not sure, like, I'm understanding if we're getting enough of the activity stuff to make, like, multiple, if we're getting the $55 kit, or if that's just for extra cabashions. Do you know? Let me know if you know. And then my next order, because I couldn't figure out if I put in my order or not, and that's like my brain. I will put stuff in a shopping cart and then forget if I actually checked out or not, so I'll end up not making the order thinking I did, or I will make the order and not think I did, and then make the order again. So I have literally trying to be buying the subscription for like 3 months. The first month it was I thought I had purchased it, but I didn't. The second month was I really didn't want to do the mushroom thing, so I was like, I messed up last month, so I'll just wait until next month, because I really didn't want to get the mushroom thing anyway, and I wanted to get the higher end kit. So I'm like really glad I waited, because then now July is going to be chainmail, and so I did the 2 kits, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it 2 kits for July, and then I'll probably cancel the second kit, and then change it to sending a second kit to my grandniece, who just started doing wire weaving, and at least like set up the lowest tier for cabashions and the monthly craft along kit. So I think she'll like that. That would be a nice little summer activity for her, and something we can do together, you know, online, be able to do the craft along together. So yeah, you guys check out Back to Earth Creations. Come do the kit with me. July is craft along. I think their Sunday kick show will be, I don't know if it's on Kick or just on YouTube, that they do the craft along. I think they do it on both. So check out Back to Earth Creations. I know she streams every day on except for Monday, because they're doing shipping on Monday. But every other day they're doing videos, live streams on YouTube and Kicks, and then they may or may not be doing another platform as well. So check that out. There you go. Fun in the sun. All of the tips and tricks I have for today. And oh my god, we have so many cabashions for me to show you guys now, with this new kit coming today from Back to Earth Creations comes today. And then also hundreds of cabashions that we have to do from Imperial Cabashion Gems. And Imperial Cabashion Gems also give me a coupon for you guys. So a coupon code for you guys. So we'll have that in the upcoming videos from them. Sun is out, so it's probably getting close to time for me to get picked up and go to the VA. So I gotta go get ready. Bye guys.